Yes, good afternoon. Branch and bound. Okay, so we came across backtracking and how backtracking worked. We followed a path. If at all we reached a dead end, then we track back to the previous step. If at all there is a deviation, we follow the other path. Yes, so that is what backtracking is. So here, as you can see, backtracking, what it uses depth first search. Okay, depth first search. So you follow a path. If you reach a dead end or if you find a solution, then track back to the previous step, then take a deviation, follow a different path. But branch and bound is not like that. Branch and bound is breadth first search. What is the difference between depth first search and breadth first search? Depth first search, from a node you can reach only one other node. But what about breadth first search? From a node, if at all it is connected to multiple nodes, at a time you can just go for all those multiple nodes as an option. Okay, at a time you can just go for all those nodes as an option. But in depth first search, what we do, from a node we check which one is connected, which is the immediate connected node, we just go to that node. But here breadth first search, we check for the node. If it is connected to 1, 2 or 3 more than one node, then you just visit all the nodes which are connected to that particular node. Okay, so that is what is breadth first search. So here branch and bound technique, it uses breadth first search. So branch means whatever connections is there to that particular node, so everything is visible to you. And bound, we will talk about this bound. Okay, yes. So this is also one of the methods to solve the problem. So if you look at this, see, starting by considering the root problem, that is the original problem with the feasible region, the lower bounding or upper bounding procedures are applied. See, we have come across time complexity. So time complexity, in that we talk about worst case and best case. So what is that best case? That is the minimum time that the algorithm will take to solve the problem or to run that particular algorithm. Okay, so best case is nothing but that is the best possible time taken by the algorithm to run. And what do you mean by worst case? Worst case is nothing but maximum time that the algorithm will take. So here branch and bound is nothing but that is what is boundary we are talking about. Lower bound, okay, this is what is the lower bound. So below this you cannot go. That means, for example, for searching, linear search, just assume if a key is present in the first position, that itself is the best case for the linear search. Okay, that itself is the best case. So can you have the best case below that? No, you cannot have. So that is what is lower bound. So below that you cannot have anything. So better than that you don't have any solution. And upper bound is the worst case. So beyond that you cannot go. So that is what is branch and bound. Branch means you are trying for all possibilities. Bound means depending on the problem you are checking, what kind of boundary you can apply to that particular problem. So here let us see. So if the bound matches, then an optimal solution has been found. Bound means, see, for example, let us consider one problem. So for that particular problem, it might be a minimization problem or maximization problem. So if at all it is a minimization problem, you might have the least possible value as the solution. So if you are talking about lower bound, you are always comparing that least possible value, whether you are approximately reaching that particular value, is the path whatever you are trying to follow is correct or not. So that is what is bound. Okay, yes, see here, so it is feasible region is divided into 2 or more regions, then sub problems, that is nothing but branch. When we talk about, see, we start from the root node, we try to reach all possible nodes which is connected to that root node. So then among all those nodes, again you have to choose the best one among that, isn't it? So you cannot simply solve every problem. If you want to simply solve, that is nothing but brute force method. So that will take a longer time. So that is what is dividing into more regions and solving the sub problems. Okay. So here they have told applied recursively the sub problem so that we get the optimal solution. We will see based on the problem how it works. Okay. So here we are talking about lower bound and upper bound. So as I told, lower bound is nothing but the minimum limit below which you cannot go, and upper bound is nothing but the maximum limit above which you cannot go. So example is nothing but the time complexity we spoke about, that is the best case and the worst case. So you cannot fall below best case. You cannot, I mean, the algorithm will never take the time lesser than the best case, and in the worst case it should not take the time more than the worst case. Okay. Yes. Okay, so now let us look into this problem. Okay, assignment problem. What is this problem all about? See, you have n workers and n jobs. See, you have n workers and n jobs. Okay, so what you are going to do here is you have to assign each job to each worker. Okay, it should be 1 to 1. Okay, one job cannot be assigned to more than one worker, or one worker cannot be assigned with more than one job. It should be 1 to 1, exactly 1 to 1. Okay, so you will have n workers here and n jobs here. What is your job is, you have to assign each job to each worker in such a way that the cost of assigning is low. Okay, the cost of assigning is low. Is that clear? See, you have n workers and n jobs, so you have to assign the job to each individual worker in such a way that the cost is low. See, the total cost of assignment is minimized. This is the problem. Now let us see what are the different possible solutions we have for this problem. This is the given condition and you have to get the least cost. Okay, yes. So let us take an example. See, person A, if he is allocated with job 1, the cost is 9 units. If a person A is allocated with job 2, the cost is 2 units. Person A, job 3, 7 units. So this is how the values are given. Okay, so now let us just randomly try to allocate some values. For example, if I allocate this job 1 to person A, okay, then I cannot allocate this job 1 to any other person, or I cannot allocate job 2, 3, 4 to person A. Okay, as it is 1 to 1. Now just randomly I am just telling you, we have not applied any of the algorithm here. So first, if at all I apply job 1 for person A, then I'll allocate job 2 for person B. I'll allocate job 3 for person C. Then I'll allocate job 4 for person D. Okay. So now tell me, what is the cost, total cost? 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4. The total cost is 18. Isn't it? The total cost is 18. So if I want to get the solution, I have different possible ways to get the solution. Okay. So let us see which one is best suitable for this particular problem. Okay. See, there are different ways of solving the problem. So first one is brute force method. What is this brute force method? You are checking for all possibilities, isn't it? See, if you are applying brute force method, it will take the time. What is the time taken by it? Why n factorial? See, if you look at this, see, if you look at this, now for example, if I have all the jobs available and all the people available, then what happens? I have 4 different possibilities to choose the job for person A, isn't it? For person A, I have 4 different options. One is I can allocate with job 1, I can allocate with job 2, I can allocate with job 3, I can allocate with job 4, isn't it? So for the first person it is 4 possibilities. Now if I select one job, then for the second person you have only 3 possibilities, that is job 1, job 2, job 3 and job 4. There are only 3 possibilities. Now if I allocate one job to B, then the next possibilities is 2, then the only option is left out is 1. So what is this? 4 into, this is just one possibility I am talking about. There are n number of possibilities to allocate the jobs, isn't it? So this is just one possibility. So if I just check like that, it is nothing but 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is what? N 4 factorial. So here you have 4 people and 4 jobs. So that is the reason you have got 4 factorial ways of allocating the job. So this will be the worst scenario. So we will not apply brute force method for this type of problems. One more method you have is Hungarian's algorithm. Okay, so this is actually one of the best solutions we can get using Hungarian's method. What is Hungarian's method is, what you try to do is, in the given problem or in the given table, you just check either row wise or column wise, you check for the least possible value. Okay, so for example, if I go with row wise, so in the first row, what is the least possible value? Least possible value is 2. Second row, what is the least possible value? It is 3. Third row, what is the least possible value? It is 1. Fourth row, what is the least possible value? It is 4. Okay, so this we have, what we do is, we just subtract this least possible value from rest of the values in the row. Okay, we subtract this least possible value from rest of the values in the row. Yes, then what we do is, we check for column. Okay, the first column doesn't have any 0. See, if you subtract every value in this row from 2, 9 minus 2 will be 7, 2 minus 2 0, 7 minus 2 is 5, 8 minus 2 is 6. So similarly you will get zeros here. Then again you will check in the column. So in the column, whatever is the least possible value, you go for it and then subtract from that. See, here it will be 7, here 6 minus 3 is 3, 5 minus 1 is 4, 7 minus 4 is 3. So least possible value in this column would be 3. So you will get a 0 here and you will get a 0 here. Okay, so you will get a 0 here and you will get a 0 here. Now this is the possible allocations that you can make. Okay, so in this again you can go for choices. Okay, so if you go for choices, what happens? So first you will allocate this. So the final allocation I am talking about. So the final allocation would be, see, this 2, and because I have now I'll just allocate this randomly, I'm just doing. So if I allocate this, I cannot allocate job 3 to person B because it is 1 to 1. If I allocate job 1 to person B, I cannot allocate job 3 also to person B. So then I'll allocate this job 3 to person C. Then I cannot allocate job 1 to person D, isn't it? I cannot allocate job 1 to person D. So I can allocate job 4 to person D. So what will be the solution? Job 2 to person A, job 1 to person B, job 3 to person C and job 4 to person D. So what is the total cost of allocation? 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4, that is nothing but 13. Okay, that is nothing but 13. So this is the actual solution. If you again look into the problem, any value you just consider the least values, these would give you the best possible solution. So now this is one of the ways of solving the assignment problem. Okay, that is nothing but Hungarian's method. And what is the runtime complexity for Hungarian's method? It is n to the power 3, n cube. Okay. Yes, now let us see what are the other possibilities. One is combination of depth first search and breadth first search, or if you individually go for depth first search or breadth first search. So depth first search, again what you will do, you will start with the first one. Okay, if at all I allocate this, then already this is done, so I have to go with the next one, next one, next one. What is the value? Is that the solution? Okay, it might be a feasible solution, but that is not the optimal solution. So feasible solution means you can allocate the jobs in n different ways. Okay, you can allocate the job in n different ways. That is what is feasible. That is a part of solution, but optimal solution in the sense the best solution. So here with respect to this problem, assignment problem, you should get the least cost. When you are talking about least cost, you always want the lowest value. So whichever solution gives you, the feasible solution gives you the lowest value, that is called as optimal solution. Okay, so what you are trying to do is you just try all possible things, and in that which one is the lowest value, that you will be considering. Okay, so here, yes, so depth first search, what it does, again it will follow all the possibilities, track back, again try with the next possible path, again track back, try with next possible path. So again it will take a longer time. Again breadth first search, again if you start, you have to check with all these 4 nodes. Yes, then among these nodes, again if you individually go for breadth first search, see, so you start with 9. So for the first time you are checking for all jobs. Yes, so root node will have 4 branches. So one is 9, 2, 7 and 8. Then again, if for this, if you want to go to next level, that is after job 1 is allocated to person A, then you will have 3 possibilities, that for person B, that is job 2, job 3, job 4. So then for this particular 9 itself I am talking about, again you will have the branches 4, 3 and 7, 3 branches for 9 alone. For 2 again it will be 6, 3 and 7. For 7 again it will be 6, 4 and 7. For 8 again it will be 6, 4, 3. So every level, every node will have multiple branches. So first time the root node will have 4. Again now in the level 1 all the nodes will have 3 children, that is 3 branches. Then again after the next level every node will have 2, and again in the next level every node will have 1 child. So that is nothing but same again n factorial kind of only, isn't it? But the combination of 2 might take lesser time. Yes, let us see. Okay, this is optimal solution using branch and bound. So branch and bound will give you the best possible solution for this particular problem. So for various problems, even if you can solve it in the same method, might be chances that, for example, if I am talking about n queens, backtracking might be better than branch and bound, or branch and bound might be better than backtracking. N queens problem I can solve it in both ways. Okay, but which one is optimal or which one is better, I will come to know only once the time complexity is lower compared to the other method. Okay, so here we will see an example. So here 2 approaches. So first what we are doing is we choose the job with, so what we are doing, we are choosing the job with minimum cost from unassigned jobs. Or what you are doing, you choose a worker with lowest cost. See, it can be either row wise or column wise. See, if you go row wise, what we tell, we choose the job with least value. Okay, for person A, if you consider, what are the values? Job 1 9, job 2 2, job 3 7, job 4 8. So among this, which is the least value? Least value is 2. So for person A, I will select like that. Or what I can do is, I can first check with job 1. Okay, so job 1, what are the values? 1 is 9, 1 is 6, 1 is 5 and 1 is 7. So among these, which one is the least one? 5. So I can do it in two different possible ways. So that is what is told here. Okay, either row wise or column wise. So row wise is nothing but with unassigned jobs. So for a worker, you are considering the worker, and for that worker you are assigning the least value among the unassigned jobs. And column wise, if you are talking, for each job you are checking which worker will do that job in least cost. Okay, so this is two different possible ways. So now let us try calculating the cost. So if you look at this, so first, as I told, so job 1 for A, he will cost 9 units. Job 2, he will cost 2 units. Job 3, it will cost 7 units, and job 4, it will cost 8 units. Okay, yes. So among these, which is the least one? Least one is 2. So now what we have done is, we have allocated job 2 to person A. So now person A is done. That means you cannot allocate any other job to person A, and neither you can allocate job to any other person, job 2 to any other person. Okay, so that is what is told here. So if you look at this, job 2 is already assigned to worker A, so you cannot allocate this job 2 to any other person, nor you can allocate other jobs to person A. Okay, so that is why it is marked in this different color. That means now whatever is remaining within that, you have to check for the least possible cost. Okay, so next again what I will do is, I will go with person B. So person B, what are the remaining jobs? Job 1, job 3 and job 4. So what are the cost? Job 1, it will cost 6 units, job 3 it will cost 3 units, and job 4 it will cost 7 units. So which is the least one? Least one is 3. So what we can do is, we can go with 3. Yes. Okay, next one. So if I go with 3, what are the now possibilities? There are only 2 possibilities remaining for C, that is 5 and 8. So 5 is minimum. So if I go with 5, so obviously I will go with 4 for D, that is job 4 for D. Yes. So now tell me, what is the cost? What is the cost? 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4. So 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. What is the cost? 14. But when we checked for optimal solution, or the best possible solution, randomly when we checked, now it is 14. But if you randomly check, what was the actual solution we found? Better solution than this? Better solution than this? Okay, let me take a different color. Yes. So it is 2, 6, then after 2, 6, we just checked with Hungarian's method, isn't it? What was the best possible solution? So 2, 6, 1 and 4. So what is the total cost now, tell me? 2, plus 6 plus 1 plus 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 1 11, 11 plus 2 13. So what is the cost now? The cost is 13. So 13 is better than 14. So now we will see how branch and bound will work for this. Okay, we'll see how branch and bound will work, and it will give you the optimal solution. Yes, Hungarian's method actually gives you the best possible solution for this. Branch and bound also will give you the optimal solution. Okay, so now this is the solution we have got when we just randomly started with worker assigning the least cost job. Okay, yes, but now when we look at this branch and bound solution for this particular problem, see. So level 0, okay, you have not selected with any of the nodes, sorry. Yes, see, look at this. Yes, so level 0 we have not selected any of the jobs for any of the person. Then see, level 1 we are trying for all 4 different possible jobs for person A. Okay, so if I proceed with job 1, okay, if I proceed with job 1, so we'll see what happens if I proceed with job 1. So first job, if you assign, what is the value? 9. Okay, so then this job cannot be assigned to anyone, and I cannot assign any other thing. So remaining in these 3 cross 3 matrix, whichever is the least one, I'll go with that. Next least, I'll go with that. So if I allocate 9, so 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4, so it is nothing but 18. Or if I'm going like this, so 9 plus 3 plus 8 plus 4. So that depends. Okay, so here if I select 9, or if I allocate job 1 to person A, so what is the best possible solution I will get? And if I allocate job 2 to person A, what is the best possible solution I'll get? If I allocate job 3 to person A, what is the cost? If I allocate job 4 to person A, what is the cost? So these are the possible cost given. Okay, now among these, which one is the least one? The least one is this one. Yes, so here the cost is calculated as 14. Why it is calculated as 14? Because it is calculated for 2, 3, 5 and 4. Okay, 2, 3, 5 and 4. That is the best possible solution, isn't it? So that will give us 14. So now what we have to do is, again we will check. Okay, now 2 is already done for A. So now you cannot allocate 2 to any other. So you are just checking with 1, 3 and 4. Okay, 1, 3 and 4. So if I allocate 1, then the cost is actually reduced now. The cost is 13. Okay, see, if I allocate 3, the cost is 14. But I have a better option, that is, if I allocate job 1 to person B, I'll get the smaller cost. Then once B is done, I have only 2 options left for C. Either I'll go with C allocating job 3, or I'll allocate job 4. If I allocate job 4, further remaining is D3, so that will give me more cost. See, this is already done. This is already done. Now what is remaining? 1, 8, 9, 4. So if I allocate 8 and 9, what would be the cost? The total cost is 25. But I don't want to do that. What I'll do is, I'll go with the least possible value. What is the least possible value? 1 and 4. So that is what I have done. Okay, so if you look at this, the best possible solution is 2, 6, 1 and 4. That is job 2 to person A, job 1 to person B, job 3 to person C and job 4 to person D. So that is what is branch and bound. See, you are just checking for all possible values. Bound means you have a boundary. Okay, so if you look at the previous, we just solved the problem. When we solve the problem by allocating the smallest value, yes, so we have got cost is 14. Again, if we further proceed, see, you have cost is 14, but you have got a better option. The cost will further reduce if I allocate job 1 to person B. Okay, then only two options you will be remaining. You are just checking with those two options. So the cost has further not reduced, the cost is 13. So that is the best possible cost whatever we can get for this particular problem. Is that fine? I hope you have understood what is assignment problem and how branch and bound is applied. See, bound is nothing but here the least possible value. Okay, so you are creating a boundary. So below that, you cannot go more than that. Here the least cost is 14, so you cannot get a cost which is greater than that. You are always trying for the least possible value compared to this 14. Okay, you are always trying to find the least possible value compared to this 14. So here you have got the least value, lesser value. Then if you proceed, you will check for lesser value. If you get lesser than 13 or something, no, 13 itself is the least one, so that itself is the solution. And how did we allocate? See, job 2 to person A, job 1 to B, job 3 to C, job 4 to D. Yes. So we'll see what is this n-queens problems. We have already seen how backtracking is applied. See, if you look at this is the steps for backtracking, isn't it? So we start with the empty. So this is 4 cross 4. So what is this n-queens problem? You are placing the queens in such a way that they don't fall in same column, same row, same diagonal. Because if they fall in same row, same column and same diagonal, there is chances of attacking the other queen. So to avoid those attacks, we are placing in the queen in such a way that it is not lying in same column, same row and same diagonal. So first what we do, we place the first queen in the first cell. Then we, obviously we cannot place in the same row, so we just check with the second row. So how to place? First column I cannot place because it lies in the same column. Second one I cannot place, again it lies in the same diagonal, so I'll just place it in the third one. But if I do that, I will not have any option for third queen. See, that is why you have this cross mark. That means it is not possible in the first cell, second cell, third cell or fourth cell of the third row. So then what we'll do, we'll shift the position of second queen. So that is how backtracking worked, isn't it? We started with one queen placing, then the second queen, then we tried all possible ways of placing it, then again we changed the position of the queen, again we further proceeded, again see, after placing the third queen we didn't have any option for fourth queen, so again backtrack and change the position of first queen itself. So that is what we did in backtracking. Now how to solve the same problem using branch and bound? See, what we do is branch and bound means all the possible solutions for this. See, you can place it in the first cell, you can place it in the second cell, you can place it in the third cell, you can place it in the fourth cell, isn't it? See, you can place this queen in the first cell, here it is placed in third cell. Same way you can place it in the third cell as well as fourth cell in the same row, isn't it? So those are the different possible positions of the first queen. So first queen, all different positions, we are just branching it. So that is what is branch and bound, isn't it? See, we are branching, so this is also one solution and this is also one solution. Okay, so let us just see. see what I can do is I can just place it here. See, I can place it in the third one, isn't it? Same way I can try for the fourth one also. So here I can first queen I can place it in the fourth cell. Yes. Then again further for this particular placement, we will just try for all possible positions for second queen. So here what are the possible positions? So either you can place it in the third cell or you can place it in the fourth cell. Okay. So for this particular problem, I can only place it in the second cell, isn't it? I can only place it in the second cell. See, can I place it here? No, I cannot place it because it falls in the same diagonal. Can I place it here? No, it falls in the same column. Can I place it here? No, it falls in the same diagonal. So this is the only possible solution. Yes. Then again I will try for this. So what are the different possible? Yes, only possibility is I can place the second queen in the last cell. Okay, second queen. So second row, I am not specifying row, I am just specifying the column. Okay. Yes, so last cell. Yes, for what about this? The queen is in the fourth cell, first queen. So the second queen, it can be placed in, see mirror image of this, it can be placed in first cell or it can be placed in second cell. Okay. So same way you are just building all the possible solution for that particular instance. Okay. So for this particular instance, what is the all possible solution? For this particular position on the board, what are the different possible solutions? So you are just branching all the possibilities. So once you branch all the possibilities, when all the four queens are placed, that itself is the solution. Okay. Here there is no minimum, there is no maximum. So only thing is whether all the four queens can be placed in 4x4 cells. Is it possible? So if it is possible, how many different possibilities are there? So here just branching all the possibilities. Okay. Bound means if at all you cannot place, that itself is the bound. That means you cannot place all those cells, all the queens in the n cross n cell. Okay. So I hope you have understood what is branch and bound.